Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another edition of the What's Going Down podcast. I am your host, Big Time Jimmy Larson, and of course, my co host is here as well, Mr. C.T. Bishop.
What's going down, y'all? What's going down? Really, what's going
Well,
down?
well, a lot of stuff's going down, and we're going to talk about some of it, but we're not going to talk about the number one thing that everybody's thinking because, as I said, we are not going to discuss politics on this show.
Never ever.
So, foremost, we have to thank everybody who tuned in last week to our live Halloween show where we were live on video and in costume. The show was very successful. We received a lot of feedback from people, how much they enjoyed it, how much they loved our discussion of previous Halloween stuff. And of course, there was some question as to if we were going to be on video every week, even though we explained it to you. We are back to our radio format this week because, as I said last week, we are going to save the video discussions for special occasions only. That's what's going to make it special. So, right now, we are back to radio. And besides, the one thing you always have to remember anyway, and there was a song and a cover song on it because video killed the radio star. And you don't want us dead. So leave us alone.
I love that.
I didn't tell you I was going to say that one.
Oh no, I love it, man. I love it. No, but I mean, it was fun. It was fun, showing up on camera and everything. But we do that enough as it is. We do that enough as it is, and it's already, when I'm on camera with when I do what I do. I got so much stuff that I got to, I had to, just preparing the setup in for last week's show. I had to get my lights. I had to get my lights to make sure that I'm lit up correctly because regular house lights don't work well with the camera and this that, and the other, and plus with what you did with your setup, with the candy and everything. It was just, we can't do that every week, y'all.
Oh, no. There was a lot involved in that. And I got a story in a minute about setups and stuff, but we'll get to that when we get there. But first, like I said, people did contact us. And if you are interested in contacting us, of course, you can answer us in the chat below. Write your comments or questions, and we'll talk about them later in the show. But also, we have an email in different ways. CT Bishop, tell them how can the people get in contact with us?
Well, the best way to get in contact with us is emailing us at the email that's written below. It's whatsgoingdowntoday@gmail.com. It is also on the thumbnail. Also, if you have a Discord, right? If you have a Discord account, join us on our Discord server. The invite is also below. It is below. Click the link and to join the Discord server. You can send us pics, questions, topic ideas, what have you. I mean, those are really the best ways. Also, I added my Twitter. If you have Twitter, you can reach me at Rev Mercado, at REVMERCADO. And yeah, if you have topic ideas, you have any questions or anything, just feel free to contact. We don't bite, y'all. We don't bite.
Well, I do have a bone to pick with you, however.
What did I
Last
do?
week,
Yeah.
last week, you told our viewers that you were going to begin working on a What's Going Down Facebook page, and people have been asking me about it, and I said, I don't know. I will ask CT Bishop live on the air.
I
But
need to
I
apologize.
assume it's because you've been busy,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm going to ask you, how are you doing? What's been going on with you?
All right. So first and foremost, let me apologize to everybody. Here's the situation. Health wise, I'm not doing so well. All right, I'm not doing so well. I've been seeing doctors left and right to deal with certain things, especially with a lot of the pain that I suffer from my years in wrestling and other sports related injuries and things. This past Wednesday, I finally was able to see a pain management specialist. They asked me a million questions. They saw my MRIs, how messed up my back and everything was, and they had to do a urine test, a bunch of other things, and then I got to see them again on Wednesday before I start receiving any treatment. I'm also I have other issues with my blood, with my stomach, and things like that I'm gonna be dealing with. So it's been hectic, setting up appointments, going to these appointments, and just dealing with all of that. And on top of with what we already do, with the shows and things that we do. So I mean, but other than that, man, I'm still going strong. I'm still going strong, and I just gotta, we just gotta take it day by day.
Speaking of your shows, where can they check out your other shows besides here?
All right, well, Josue Skits, you can check that out. That's in the link below. That's where you see me. I do a bunch of crazy skits. Actually, I forgot to post a skit, but I did post it earlier today. That was my Ric Flair skit that you saw a couple weeks ago, big time. Also with Tuesday Night Tussle. You should check out the archives. You got to check out the archives because that was some of the greatest stuff that we did, and with the other stuff that's coming soon. And I keep saying soon, but trust me, it's soon. Just hold on. But the link is down below. But there's plenty of material for you to catch up before I start posting the new stuff. So again, Tuesday Night Tussle and Josue Skits, those are down below in the description box.
Some of your skits that you've been posting lately have been absolute gold. The the TikTok video with you and this girl behind a fan.
Oh god.
That and Loser Man. With the power to pass gas. Anybody wondering how to put that in context, seriously, check him out at Josue Skits. Link is in the description below. There are some hilarious skits. There's a great one before that will be getting some sequels, I understand, which is a Harry Potter parody. So there's lots of good ones for you to check out. You can spend a couple hours going through his archives, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. As well, though, you could also check out in the description below my other channel, the Big Time Jimmy Larson channel, where currently I do have 11 episodes up of my show At the Movies. It is a movie review show, sort of. It's more along the lines of I do review the movie, but I basically tell you most of the movie, and we show you clips from the movies as well as other jokes and stuff like that. And it's all edited by C.T. Bishop. It's all written and directed and everything by me. And it's a lot of work goes into this show. You people have no idea. And this is what I was going to say earlier about all the setups. Yep. We are ahead in recording episodes. I don't mind revealing that fact. Mm-hmm. And we started recording our Christmas episodes yesterday. Do you know what happened to me yesterday?
What happened?
So I had this great idea. Mm-hmm. We had the pumpkin for Halloween, and I thought, hey, got this great idea for what to do for Christmas. And I spend a half hour bringing out Christmas lights, bringing out my mini trees, setting them up all around me, stringing up the lights, plugging them in, getting the flashy lights going.
Yeah.
Really cool effects.
Yeah.
And you know what I realized?
What'd you realize?
What color are those Christmas trees?
Oh.
They are not going to work with the green screen, are they? I was devastated as I had to pull these down and come up with another idea, but I know that with the editing that you're working on, it's going to come out great. But man, what a disappointment and what a waste of time setting all that up yesterday to be having that let down.
Wow.
But
Wow,
anyway,
man.
we did.
I should have told you to get a blue so we could do a blue screen. But we didn't think that far ahead.
So next week, so a blue screen would allow me to have green stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm. And it would match the blue curtain.
Yeah, but it would have to be like a bright blue, like a really bright, like almost teal type blue, like you
I'll have
know.
to look around and see what I can find.
Yeah, but
But
until then,
anyway,
yeah, until then, we'll work with what we got, and I do what I do.
yesterday a new episode did go up, episode 11, and so far I have not heard much feedback. I guess everybody's been too busy to check it out, but we did put up the review for Meteor Man, and I mean this when I say this. I know people say this all the time. I've said it myself, but I mean it when I say it. This, thus far, is the best episode on the channel, honestly. The production values are great. There are a couple glitches. They're gonna be. I'm low budget. But there is just so many perfect cuts by CT Bishop of clips meshing together perfectly. It features not one, but 5 of my favorite jokes thus far in my show's history. And also just the most amazing intro and credit sequence there is, which will appear next week as well. Mm-hmm. Next week, as I said, will also be a superhero movie. And as I said, every week I'm going to reveal on this show what movie we will be airing on there. So yes, next Friday, the other superhero movie you can check out is Blank Man. Blank Man, if you've never seen it, you owe it to yourself to see it, but you all absolutely have to check out next week's review. It is some hilarious material as well. On par.
I'll tell you this real quick. I'll tell you this real quick, right? I love Meteor Man and I love Blank Man. 2 of the best superhero movies that I've ever seen. And just and put and when you told me what you were gonna do, that you were gonna do these 2 movies, I was excited because I knew you were gonna do something really great, and then just putting it together, and then plus the little added bonuses, you know what I mean? I had way too much fun on it.
Well, the cutscene image for Blank Man, I think you thought I was crazy. You thought that I was maybe revealing a future movie review. I'm like, no, this is just a joke that popped in my head that we're doing. And a lot of people can't even see me on the Meteor Man thumbnail because I'm so small in there. But no, I love these 2 movies because they came out a year apart, and they were the first 2 superhero movies about black superheroes. And I get so mad now, and I've seen memes about it, so other people do know about these movies, because everybody, when Black Panther came out, they said, oh, finally a black superhero movie, and it's the first black superhero movie ever came out. And then people made memes with that quote and put Meteor Man and Blank Man underneath going, that's cute. Because yes, and I saw somebody else did a review on Meteor Man where they mentioned that Meteor Man is actually a parody. Mm-hmm. And it's not a parody. Meteor Man was meant to be a solid message about the war on crime, It was made in the style of 1960s Batman, so in that sense it's kind of like a parody sense, because that in itself is like a parody. But no, it was meant to be serious. The one that's a parody, though, is Blank Man. That's a total parody of the 1960s Batman. But yeah, they're great movies.
But even then with Blank Man, it's also a movie of hope that says anybody can be a hero.
Yeah, but it's totally not true, as we would see in another movie.
Yeah.
Kick-A.
That is true.
But yeah, no, they're both great movies, and yeah, we did feature my favorite clip from Blank Man does appear in the review for Blank Man. I'll leave that at that. You can check it out. But also, we want to let you know wrestling fans, 2 weeks from tonight is Saturday, November 21st. It happens to be the day before the 2020 Survivor Series. We have reached a milestone for Survivor Series. This year makes 30 years since The Undertaker made his debut at Survivor Series 1990. I said, well, with the pandemic and all, I don't think a lot of people remember the best of the Survivor Series because I hear a lot of people talking about the recent years about how bad it was. So we are going to take that entire episode and we are going to discuss the best of the Survivor Series since its incarnation in 1987. Myself and CT Bishop are going to tell you our favorite moments from the show because obviously, seeing how long the Halloween Havoc show ran, we cannot go card for card, match for match on every single episode because there's a lot more Survivor Series than there was Halloween Havoc. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to fly. This show will be like 12 hours long. Yeah. So instead, we're just going to talk about the best moments, not even necessarily from each one. We may skip over some of the shows, but we will not miss any of the important moments that happened in Survivor Series history. I just mentioned to you one that happened 30 years ago. There's a lot more. And if you want to hear more about it, well, check out the show in 2 weeks. Send in your questions early so that they will get answered on the air. Send in any comments you have. If you have a favorite moment of Survivor Series, send it in, and we will put it up for you. Mm-hmm. Somebody calling to tell you their moments now.
Yep. Hold on. Hello. No, it's not for me. I'm gonna have to either unplug the house phone or something. Yeah. But
already people are calling in to tell their moments. Yeah. Save it for 2 weeks, people.
You know what? If at some point, I'm gonna see if I can set up a phone, a phone number people can call in. That both.
Oh boy, that we need somebody to screen those calls.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So but that would be, if that's something we decide to do, you know what, we'll figure it out. That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying something that we will. I'm just saying if we later on, if that's something we decide to do, then we'll figure it out. But yeah. But until then, just send us the emails. Send us the emails. Send us contact us. That's by the methods that we told you about.
I gotta tell you, last week was our Halloween show. We were discussing the best Halloween specials, and we did a very good job, but I really made a huge error when I was going over these.
Dun, dun, dun.
I left out... Huh?
I was like, dun, dun, dun!
I left out one of the greatest Halloween specials of all time, and I know that even though nobody else could hear it, I heard it in my head. My brother from up in heaven, God rest his soul, he got in my head and he started yelling at me, "What are you doing? Why didn't you mention this? You know it's our favorite. We'd save it for last every single year." And I didn't even make a mention of it. And that is Cheers. Now, they had 2 Halloween episodes, but only one is worth mentioning. Are you a fan of Cheers, first off?
Me, yes. Big fan.
Have you seen... Now, they've done a prank war with Gary's Old Time Tavern on a few episodes, including a St. Patrick's Day episode, which was brilliant, where Gary had a wall cemented around the bar so they couldn't get into it. But Halloween, it takes the entire cake of their prank war. Do you remember this episode?
I remember. Now I gotta go on my Netflix and watch it later when we're done.
Oh, I have it on DVD. It's tremendous, and it's just everything that happens in it. Gary completely comes in with this whole scenario. First, he rigs the bars. Pretty much everything in the bar is rigged to play the song "The Monster Mash." First, they hear it on the jukebox, and you just hear the old man go, "Hey, that's not Funky Town." But then they can't get it shut off, and Sam has to destroy the whole jukebox with a baseball bat. And then the phone, he tries to call Gary, and he can't. He hears the song playing on his phone. Even when he goes to spray the beer out of the tap, it starts playing the music. And Gary walks in, and even Sam's just like, "Oh, you're good." And Gary's just like, "Oh, I know." But Gary tells him that he's having some blood pressure issues, and his doctor has told him to knock off all the pranks for the day. And he feels bad, and he gives a blank check to Sam, even and says, "Here, make it out for the amount of that jukebox, and give everybody a round of beers." And everybody cheers, and then, no pun intended, and then Sam tears up the check, which, when he tore that check, yeah, tell me you didn't hear Norm's inside that going, "So I don't get my free beer now?" Yeah, so he does this, and Sam just is like, we're gonna get him tonight because he doesn't buy it. As well he shouldn't. So yeah, they just go back and forth trying to figure out how they're gonna prank Gary, and then they scare him with a hologram of Carla's disembodied head, and they come in to see his reaction, and Gary's laying allegedly dead on the floor. And they're like, "My God, he passed out." And Frasier checks him and goes, "No, he doesn't have a pulse. He's dead." And just the hilarity of this, it's so dark and morbid. And that's what brings the humor. Like, they're at the funeral, and Sam's just like, "I bet he's not even in there." And he opens the casket and goes, "Okay, he's in there." He goes, "Hey, if he wants to suffocate in that casket, let him. It's his funeral." Just so many jokes like this, and then even yelling at him once they bury him, and he's yelling at Gary to get out of there. "You're milking it, Gary." And then he finally starts to get it, and he gives this really heartfelt speech in the bar. And Frasier then adds to that humor. You get this emotional moment, and Frasier just sends it back to comedy with, "That would have made a much better eulogy than get out of there, Gary." And that's what makes this work, is that every time it goes dark, every time it goes emotional, they throw in the humor to make you keep laughing. So this way you don't get angry when you get the big reveal that it is a scam. Because otherwise, had they played it any differently, I think the audience would have felt like, "Oh my God, that's just wrong." And instead, you're laughing so much that you feel like you're in on that joke as well against Sam. And then the line even, "You guys are my pals. I can't believe you were in on it." And they're like, "Oh, Sammy, the whole city of Boston was in on it." It's just so good. And oh man, I love it. You have any thoughts on it?
You know, it just brings back a lot of memories. Because and I've said this a few times before. Growing up the way I grew up and whatever, you didn't have much television to really watch. There's no cable or whatever. So Cheers was one of those shows that was always there.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. but
and they're always glad you came.
Yeah, right. But it was perfect. It was especially for the Halloween. I mean, this was, for me personally. It brought back memories of. It just brings back memories of, like, let's say it'll be me, my cousins, and my younger brother, and we're just watching TV together, just enjoying it, laughing. It's just I can't. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you get nothing but good memories. Regardless of what. It's just it brought a smile to your face, and and just the story in itself, like you said, it was just like you felt like you were in on it.
It's just built up so brilliantly. And yeah, one of the other great things too is after Sam gives his speech, and Frasier's like, Gary was very important to all of us here. And Sam, your war with him really was important as well. You gave him life. And then Woody doesn't miss a beat, because he goes, you gave him life, and Woody goes, then you took it away. It's so good, man.
I think personally, I think if it was anybody else but Woody, the joke wouldn't have really made it so perfect. It would have been
Oh,
as
of course
perfect.
not. I mean, all through the episode, Woody Harrelson is
Yeah,
odd in this and the Christmas one
yeah,
too. He's so good in these, trying to scare everybody with the old bloody thumb gag,
yeah.
and he throws it in Norm's beer, and Norm's just like, "Oh, it's actually gross." And Rebecca's like, "Here, Norm, here's another beer," and then he goes and "Oh, thank you." Oh, and thank you, Woody, and he drinks the other one anyway. And then Woody's trying to do this pumpkin carving contest, and he's got a pumpkin that he talks about how he grew it himself and he loves it, but then he just stabs it. Farm boys love their Halloween.
Yeah.
And then later on, he comes in and he's talking about the pumpkin carving contest, and he's just like, this is horrible. This is horrible. They're like, yeah, Gary's death is bad. And he goes, I'm talking about the pumpkin carving contest. It's not fair. And he goes, I mean, you should have seen it. The ugly eyes, all bulgy, the mouth all messed up, way too big.
Yeah.
And you should have seen this kid's pumpkin. It's just, wow. But yeah, also last week on the show, I was dressed as Luigi, which brought on somebody to say, you guys have not once discussed video games on your show. And I corrected them that I did say I'm going to be having some video game stuff on my channel soon. I did mention that on this show, so we discussed it. But we haven't had a proper discussion. And yes, I will be doing those shows. Maybe this week I may do my first one.
Well, we
Don't
did
know.
talk about the upcoming Cobra Kai game.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that too. See? That right there. All of you said we didn't. We did. More than once we discussed that game.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was discussing with Sexy Librarian, my co-producer of the show. People wonder what she does. Well, she consults and all on the show. And we were talking the other day, and I came up with the next show that I'm going to be doing. Maybe this week it might start. I'm going to be reviewing the arcade games, the mini arcades. And out of a personal reason, it's going to be called Timeout at the Arcade.
Ah, okay.
If anybody's wondering why, it's because when I was a kid, the local arcade was called Timeout.
Oh my gosh, there was a local arcade over here that was called Timeout.
Oh, wow. Maybe it was a chain.
It could have been.
Ours was in our mall.
Yeah, same over here.
I was there all the time at the Timeout arcade in the mall. And so, yeah, Timeout at the arcade, it just works. So that's going to be a new show that you'll be seeing on the Big Time Jimmy Larson channel to check out eventually. But I was Luigi last week, so I figure let's start with the good stuff. I'm a Luigi guy, if anybody's wondering. I've never been the Mario guy. And if you're wondering why, it's because I was a younger brother. And all the younger brothers out there can relate to that right there. No, yep, that's right. Because Super Mario Brothers 1 came out and was not a co-op Mario game. It was a two-player game, but you had to wait. So who was player 1 would be Mario, and player 2 would be Luigi. If you had an older brother, he automatically would say, I'm older, so I go first.
Oh, that's
so
not
he
true.
was Mario.
That's not true.
It is in most people's cases, including mine.
In my house, my younger brother was obsessed with being player 1. He could not do anything unless he was player 1. So
Wow.
He was always Mario. I was like, no, I'm player 1. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just a game.
Usually, yeah, it was always oldest goes first, and so the older brother is always Mario, and Mario is the older brother, and Luigi's the younger brother.
Yeah.
So,
well, my brother's more of a gamer than I am, so it was one of those things. It's like he always player 1, even when we got into the Super Nintendo and the Sega and all that. Oh, I'm player 1. I'm player 1. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Mario 1, my brother was so good at this game that literally, because again, you would keep going until you died, and then player two got his chance. He wouldn't die. He would beat the whole game on his turn, and then I'd get my turn. And he would already be done. And it was like, really? He's about to start his second time around, and I'd be starting my first time around, and then I would die like immediately, and then he'd go through and beat the game again the second time. It was, it was rough, but I love Super Mario 1. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Always will be. Ironically, though, out of the first four, I actually place it third.
Wow.
So, yeah. And when I say first four, I mean the first four here in the States, because I know Super Mario 2, which I'll get to in a minute when we get there, it's different in Japan than it is here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
But
I tell you this, with me, it was even though I was player two, it was kind of the reverse. Like my brother would play and he was okay, but he would lose. He would lose, and then it's my turn, and then I'm going, and he'll get mad because I never lost a life. I just kept on going, going. And for me, that was my vengeance. That was my way of revenge for him taking the first player.
wow.
So anyway,
Super Mario Brothers 1 had some tricks that a lot of people could master. I could not. And ironically, neither could my brother on some of these either. I guess it was more than just 3-1 where you could do it, but we only were aware of in 3-1 when you leap on the Koopa Trooper's head at the end and you just keep bouncing off it and getting unlimited extra lives.
Yeah. See,
we could never master this.
Yeah, I was never able to master it at all.
My aunt did it perfectly. She would even tell me, "Oh, it's so easy."
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll tell you one though that nobody seems to know, especially because I watch a lot of videos on YouTube of gamers going back playing these old retro games. I love watching these. Why has nobody figured out the trick to the final Hammer Brother in 8-4?
I have no idea.
Do you know the trick?
I don't know the trick. I'll be honest.
Okay, you don't know it either. Nobody seems to know this. When we get to Mario 2 USA, you're going to learn a lot today from me. It's a lot of gamers don't know those things either that I know. But no, if I actually learned this a long time ago from one of my aunts, not the same one who mastered 3-1, a different aunt. But if you wait on the pipe at 8-4, the Hammer Brother eventually starts walking towards you. And when he gets like just next to the pipe, he throws a couple hammers and then he pauses every time. And all you have to do is just jump right over his head because now he's close enough to jump over him.
Oh.
So you wait till he comes at you, wait till he throws that last hammer, and then just jump right over him real quick. And then you're also still in your momentum and you can make the leap over, and you'll miss the flame if you time it right and leap over. Then you just have to dodge the hammers and flames coming from Bowser. Which is another thing I have to bring up. A lot of people don't notice. That's why I'm bringing it up. A lot of people's going to be like, oh, everybody knows that. But a lot of people don't. How many times does Bowser appear in Super Mario Bros. 1?
Damn. Let me see. I got to think about this. I would say 8. I would say 8, but that would be wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
It would have to at least be 16 times, something like that.
No. Wow, where are you getting that?
well, I'm thinking because okay, and the first one there's about 8 worlds, and then there's
one he appears supposedly we'll get there, but the castles appear as the 4th level of each level, and there's 8 worlds. So everybody would think 8. Bowser appears in this game one time.
One time.
8-4 is Bowser. All the other times, is other enemies in disguise as Bowser. And if you want to know who's in the disguises, there's an Easter egg. Just battle him with your firepower.
Okay.
When you kill him with the firepower,
Yeah, it
he
turns into a
turns
turtle.
into whoever he was for a split second before he falls off the screen.
Yeah, because I remember the first time. I remember the first time, like the first castle that that I go, and when I use the firepower, he would turn into a turtle. You
Well,
know,
Koopa Trooper, but everybody called them turtles back then, yeah.
I still call them turtles. You know, they're yeah. I'm a big kid, so they're
But
turtles
yeah, he
to me.
would turn into that. He would turn into a Goomba because those were who he actually was. And that's why he doesn't have the ability to throw hammers and all those different things in the first part of that. But a lot of people don't know that. And you really that's what made these games so interesting back then, especially because if you didn't have like a strategy guide and everything,
Hmm.
there was no way really that you were going to be able to know these things, you know?
Hmm.
And it really made it fun because you would learn different tricks and techniques, and then you will tell other people about it. And like Shigeru Miyamoto, he did a interview recently, which was translated to English. It is on YouTube,
Hmm.
where they talk about how he designed the whole game and then designed level one after the fact. That was the last level designed, and he wanted to make it where because he's a huge fan of gamers discovering things themselves,
Hmm.
like exploring and everything, and he'll reward you in games a lot of times for exploring. Not always, but sometimes
Hmm.
he will reward you for exploring. But he wanted to make sure everybody got it because originally they were going to make um, the game was going to be harder than it was for level one, and he put a Goomba so people could learn, jump on its head and you can kill it,
Hmm.
which is why Super Mario 2, I think we're ready to move on to Super Mario 2,
Yep.
unless you had anything else to add to Super Mario 1.
No, I'm good.
But Super Mario 2 USA came about because Super Mario 2, which here is known as Super Mario The Lost Levels, which we all learned once we got Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo.
Hmm.
But Super Mario 2 in Japan, the very first thing you hit for a power-up is a poison mushroom.
Hmm.
And it looks so much like a regular mushroom and like a Goomba
Yeah.
that it would throw off people. And they thought, man, people are going to get mad that right off the bat they die.
Hmm.
So, yeah, just all the hard things that are in that game. And Shigeru Miyamoto admitted he made that game so hard because he got mad at the speedrunners beating his first game so fast. So he wanted to teach them a lesson and kind of punish them. And Japan's always been like that anyway. Look at their game shows. They give these ignorant people these hard tasks and everything,
Hmm.
which is what led to that show before I survived the Japanese game show. I really missed that show. By the way. Did you ever watch that show?
I've seen clips, here and there, but I was never able to. I never caught it like when it was on.
Yeah, there was like 2 seasons of it where they had these Americans go to Japan and they were part of this weird game show there. And like when they were getting kicked off, they would all these people were these Japanese geishas and all would run out going sayonara, sayonara, and the Americans would be singing along and they'd be excited as they got lifted up,
Right.
hoisted up, carried out of the building, and thrown on the ground. It was so crazy.
Hmm.
I loved it though; it was good stuff. But yeah, so Super Mario 2 was dubbed too hard here in the United States, so they re-released a new version, which was actually a game that was released in Japan.
Hmm.
There is a festival that takes place in Japan, and I'm not going to give the full lesson on this. You can look it up yourself, but I'll just give the synopsis basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's a festival that takes place in Japan, and they made a video game for it called Doki Doki Panic,
Hmm.
and it's made by the same people who made Super Mario Brothers. So they said, hey, you know what? If we need to, do this, we can easily just re-release this game and just change it around a bit. So that's what they did. They would they basically they did what WWF Attitude did with Warzone, just kind of giving it a new paint job and a couple of changes.
Mhm.
But then ECW Hardcore Revolution came along and gave it another paint job, and then ECW Anarchy Rules came and just threw a whole paint bucket over top of it. That's the best way to describe that game, because that game, Rob Van Dam actually doesn't even have his ponytail in Anarchy Rules. There was so much wrong with that game, but we don't have to get into that. But that was so bad. And yeah, that's basically what they did here. But this wasn't bad,
Now,
and I'm going to get to that.
now here's the thing. Super Mario 2, okay? And if I remember this correctly, and I could be wrong, but in Super Mario 2, whenever Luigi would jump, wasn't his legs going kind of crazy?
Yes, because that's the thing. This game features each person has their own abilities. Like Mario has the ability. I don't know what Mario's ability is in this game.
And I remember the princess, when she would jump, her dress would be kind of like a parachute.
Yeah, she would float.
Yeah.
Toad had the ability to be able to pull out the vegetables faster and throw them faster.
Mm-hmm.
What is Mario's deal?
I don't remember anything special about Mario. That's the crazy thing.
He had to have something, but I don't remember what it is. If anybody knows, write it in the thing, and we'll mention that you said it to us. But I can't remember. I don't know. But yeah, they each have their own ability. Toad, for the longest time as a kid, I thought couldn't even jump up certain areas because he's so bad at jumping. And then I learned the trick, like when I was an adult, about how if you hold down, it's like a power boost, and then you let go, and then he'll jump high enough. Mm-hmm. And all the characters can do that, but you have to do it with Toad, and that's annoying. To me, this game only needs one person, my guy, Luigi. Mm-hmm. I beat this entire game 1,000,000 times with Luigi only. Mm-hmm. Any of the other guys, I don't do good with. And Luigi's able to be the best as far as speed running goes in this game. I mentioned how I was going to mention some tips that people don't know. Mm-hmm. Like in the first level, even they have this secret again because Miyamoto tried to reward you if you explored. Mm-hmm. There's a waterfall. If you jump over the waterfall, there's like a brick wall and all, and you could blow it up and everything, and then you go through a door, and then you climb up a vine, and then you can leap up the building and run across the building, and boom, you're at the final Birdo fight there, avoiding all the rest of the level. Everybody knows about that one. Yeah. So that one's like, okay, everybody's like, oh, who didn't know that? And yeah, everybody does know that one.
For me, see, here's the thing. For me, when I first discovered that, it was I was the princess, because okay, you would jump, she would float, but you keep pressing the jump button, which was the B button at the time, and she just kept kind of going up, float, up, float, up, float, you know, and for some reason I decided, let me see if I can go over the waterfall or whatever, and that's when I first discovered it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, like I said, people discovered it by just trying it out. Mm-hmm. And there's other levels like that too, where there's stuff that you could discover, which I'll get to when we get there. But yeah, and then in the very first level, the other thing that a lot of people don't know, and this one's so simple as well. Mm-hmm. When you're going through the door to get to the waterfall, you don't have to go through the door on the bottom. If you're Luigi, you can actually leap all the way up there and just skip that whole thing and just be on the second floor already.
Nice.
Just like if you want to get extra coins, I recommend you throw the door up there by the vine. Yeah. Because there's so many coins. Do that the first time, then go through the door and back out, and the door will respawn, and you can do it a second time. Yep. And you get a total of like 30-something coins in the first level.
Nice.
Which are used in the slot machine to try and get extra lives.
See, now I'm gonna have to find a game.
Dude, there's so many secrets. Like in 1-2, everybody uses Mario. I'm like, Luigi has an awesome trick.
Mm-hmm.
Because first you fly on that pigeon thingy with the magic carpet thing that he's got.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you land, you notice that like the bees are flying.
Yep.
If you're Luigi, which by the way, this is another thing that ticks me off about all the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody seems to know that that first tunnel has a 1-up in it. If you go down it, there's a 1-up right there. And they all skip it. They don't go to it. But everybody, I know you're probably like not remembering any of this stuff as I'm saying it. But if you go down the second tunnel, you grab a key
Mm-hmm.
from the mask guys, and then with everybody, you have to take the key, go through the door that's locked, and make your way up around this whole level.
Mm-hmm.
You can skip all of that. You don't need the key. You don't need to do any of that.
Yep, yep.
All you need is Luigi.
Wow.
And what you do is you stand on the first tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and you leap as high as you can and as far as you can, but being able to push the back button so you don't go off the cliff. What you're doing by doing this is you are triggering one of the bees to come at you as high as you can,
Yep.
but not too high where you can't leap above him. And then you quickly, as you land,
Yeah,
you leap back up and leap on top of the bee,
yeah.
and then just follow with the D-pad the direction the bee is going, or else you'll fall off the bee.
Yeah.
And you can literally follow the bee as he'll fly with you on top of him all the way over, and then you just leap on top of the building.
You
And
see,
boom.
See, I definitely got to try this now. I got to see if I can find an emulator.
I do
or
this every
something.
time. Dude, I get through the first, like that whole game.
Yeah.
My record on it is like 8 minutes to beat the whole game. And the longest part is that last level because it's so unpredictable. I hate war. I have so many problems with war in that
Yeah.
game.
Hold on.
But
I gotta give a big shout out to my boy, my other brother, Miles. What up? He's listening on to the podcast.
all right, well maybe he's learning some Mario tricks. But no, there's so many different things too. Like, and there's so many versions of Mario too. I don't know if you ever played the Game Boy Advance versions.
No, I never got a chance to.
The Super Mario Advance Mario 2, I highly recommend to everybody
Mhm.
because they've changed a lot of the villains. Because in the original game, Mauser appears twice, the Fire Snakes appear twice. In this game, nobody appears twice. They created new villains,
Ooh.
including a robotic Birdo.
Ooh.
And robotic Birdo is one, and I can't for the life of me right now remember what the other one is. But they also created another villain to take up for the other Fire Snakes. There was another villain that they added. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. But no, it's just so cool. And the other thing that they added is the talking.
Mm-hmm.
They have Mario and Luigi talking, of course. All the characters talk, but the villains talk to you. When you get up to the villains at the end, they all go in their own little voices, depending on which character it is. They say, "This is as far as you go." And it's just really cool, you know? Another trick is in 7-2. A lot of people don't know this one either.
Mhm.
When you're flying on the Falcons,
Okay.
if you take the one Falcon and then jump up quickly, ride on one that's going back toward the beginning of the game,
Mm-hmm.
of the level,
Yeah.
and then you leap on a top one, you fly over all of the villains. And you can just skip pretty much all of that stuff and not have to worry about trying to jump over everything because you're up in the air so high that you're not going to get hit by anything other than bees. You do have to watch out for the bees. But it's just so much easier to get through the level that way. And a lot of people I see, they don't know these tricks. As I watch them and I'm like, wow, you guys don't know the tricks.
That reminds me of a trick I used to do on Mario 3. I think everybody did.
Well, we'll get there. Can you hold that or
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you going to forget?
No, I'll remember it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. The only other thing I really want to mention about Mario 2 is in 3-1, there's a giant waterfall and you're leaping up all these blocks and everything to get to the top.
Mhm.
Do you remember this level?
I remember.
Do you know the trick?
I don't know the trick.
Okay, well, a lot of people know part of the trick.
Okay.
If you fall down the waterfall,
Mhm.
you still have to be careful because you can fall to your death. But there's actually a island down there to land on,
Mhm.
and there's a warp zone in there. One, but you don't need the warp zone.
Okay.
But I still do this trick because that is where you get the most coins out of a door. So you can get the most coins and then take the door back up to the top and then fall down again, go down and do it all over again, and boom, you got yourself another 30 something coins for the slot machine.
Oh wow.
So yeah, these are tricks that a lot of people don't know. Eventually I'm gonna have to just start gaming and actually playing these games on
Right.
camera and
Well, here's
showing people my tricks.
yeah. Well, here's my thing because I didn't get two. I didn't get Mario 2 till much later when
That was the second Nintendo game we ever owned.
yeah, no, for me I didn't get 2 until very like many years later when we were already on like uh the first PlayStation. And I was
Wow.
yeah, yeah, because I was still trying to find games for the Nintendo, and I was like, oh wait a minute, Mario 2, cool, hey, and so
Unpopular opinion. Mario 2 is my second favorite out of the first four.
okay,
That's a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people do not like Mario 2. It's my second favorite game of the series. It's so good. And I can go back to it all the time and beat it every time and just have so much fun playing it.
yeah,
You know? The only level that throws me off, like I said, 7-2. It's so hard. Just getting to war is difficult, and then having to get to war, it's just really hard. But yeah, that's Mario 2. We'll move on to Mario 3.
yep,
I will start before you tell your story. Let me just say that a lot of people don't know this about Mario 3.
mm-hmm.
The whole game, because Mario 2, the whole game takes place in a dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Mario 3, the whole game is a play. Were you aware of this?
I was.
Okay.
A lot of people are not, but if you
I
notice,
did not know this for a while.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to remember, at least me personally, because of with everything I was trying to get involved in, like like acting in school and whatever, right? I noticed the curtains
Yes, right off the bat, they're
right off
pulling the curtain up and starting.
So for me, I was like, is this a play? Is this kind of like
And all
what
the
is it?
backdrops look like they're nailed to the back,
Yeah,
like they're not real.
yeah, yeah.
And the way that you could go behind the screen to get some of the whistles and everything.
Yeah. So for me, so it was like it wasn't until like let's say maybe 5 or 6 years later, because we got Mario 3 when it came out. So, but it wasn't until 5 or 6 years later I got my one of the magazines that was talking about it. I'm trying to remember what it was, but one of the magazines was talking about it, and they made a brief mention of it. And I was like, I knew it looked familiar. So I was just like, oh wow, okay. So I was right.
And yeah, you exit stage right, and there's a
Yeah,
black curtain there.
yeah, yeah.
And the other thing of the interest on that is that it's like they're not levels in this game; they're stages.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was you gonna say about Super Mario 3
And
before
Super
I go on about
yeah,
it?
it's not really a story, and I'm sure everybody did it. I'm sure everybody did it. You know when how you can collect different suits and different abilities. Like you had the raccoon, the
Yes.
frogman. All right, so and then there was one that it was a P, and that was like a permanent raccoon suit that you can fly throughout the whole thing. You
The
don't have
P-Wing, yes.
yeah, right. So okay, so when I first got it, I was like, oh wait a minute, we can fly. Okay, cool. Um, the first thing I did was I as soon as I figured it out how it worked, I just ran as much as I could, and I was able to fly, above everything. And then when we got the P wing, and my brother was like kind of ticked off because he didn't he didn't know what to do or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, don't worry. So I grabbed the P wing, and just fly across. How you do that? I'm like, I'm not telling you. Again, another.
If you actually beat this game, by the way,
Yep.
and then on your second time around,
Yep.
they give you a whole load of P-wings in your inventory.
Yep. I was able to do that. I mean, it took me a while. It took me a while to finally be able to do that. But once I was able to do that, and I saw that they gave me a load of, a boatload of P-wings, I was like, oh, okay, cool, awesome.
Well, Mario 2 and Mario 3, I did not beat these until long after. Like Mario 2, I first beat it. Oh man, I was like 14 years old when I finally beat the game. My mom actually recorded it and I have it on tape. It was like I was so excited to beat Mario 2 for the first time and without warp zones too.
Yeah.
And Mario 3 as well. Mario 3 was so tough because I couldn't even buy the game. I couldn't afford it. We would rent it. And as you know, there was no save feature back then. So you would have to try and beat it in one sitting. And Mario 3 is such a big game that I would never be able to beat it. On a rental, I don't think anybody could beat it on a rental.
Oh, here's
You
the
know?
thing. Yeah, no, I mean, for us, it was like, you know, it was the only gift my brother and I got that year because it was so expensive. You know, so and yeah, there was no save feature like these games now, but that didn't stop us because all we had to do was we would pause it, or like when you're waiting to go into the next world, into the next adventure and all that, we just wait,
Mm-hmm.
we keep it there, and then we just we switched it over from uh like we'll unplug the Nintendo, plug the regular, because we didn't have one of those modulator things, the RF modulators or whatever, uh, and we just we would just we unplug the Nintendo, plug in the antenna, or if we had cable, the cable, and watch regular TV. Then when we were ready to go back, we just plugged the Nintendo back in and go from where we were at. That was our save feature back in the day.
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's save feature back in the day.
That's old school, as we say here. That's old school.
But yeah, I gotta go back just a minute, and then I do have a story. But I just got a text message, telling me that Mario's ability in Super Mario 2 is that he can apparently jump further than anybody else. But I don't know if that's true because, like I said, with Luigi, you can hang time in the air. The same with the princess as well. You get hang time, so I don't see how Mario jumps further. I guess maybe without doing that, but it just depletes the purpose. To me, no, you're looking for a reason to make Mario better than he is when he's not in that game. That's how I look at that. I don't know how you look at that.
Hey, I'm with you, bro. If I can't remember what Mario's special ability was. I'm with you, man.
But yeah, Super Mario 3 came out in Japan the same time that Super Mario 2 USA came out for us. So a lot of people, they just never got to see Mario 3 here in the States. And then our first way to get to finally see it, do you remember this?
I don't, actually. I would like. I don't remember.
Oh man, you are deprived. The game was first seen in American audiences in a movie called The Wizard.
Oh, for real?
That was the first time American audiences got to see it.
It
was the selling point for that movie that you were going to get to see first shots ever.
Yeah.
Because this was before the internet and all.
Yeah, I did not.
So the only way you were going to see any clips of this game that was going to be coming out the year after was by seeing The Wizard.
Yeah, I did not even see that movie till many years after when I already
I saw it when it came out, and I was just blown away. at the Mario 3 footage, I was like, oh my God. And I didn't get it because, like, in the game, the kid knows where the warp zones and everything are. It's like,
Yeah.
how does he know where this stuff is when he's never played it? It's a brand new game, you
Yeah.
know?
See
I got to
from
review The Wizard on my channel, by
yes.
the way, because
Yeah.
I love The
Oh,
Wizard.
it was
Everybody
oh
hates
yeah.
it.
No, it's an excellent game. I mean movie. Sorry, it's an excellent movie.
Everybody hates that movie,
Oh
but
no.
I love that movie. I did just find out recently, though, the
Uh
kid who played Lucas,
huh.
who's everybody knows Lucas if you know that movie,
Uh-huh.
the Power Glove kid.
Yep.
And apparently, he's like really a bad person. He did some terrible things. I'm not gonna even say on the air, but
Yeah, I
he's in
heard.
jail for like a long, long time.
Yeah, I heard similar things.
Lucas Barton. But yeah, Lucas was awesome in the movie though. He had the Power Glove, which was also new at the time and not released by Nintendo. A lot of people don't know that, but Nintendo they licensed it, but they did not release it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can't blame Nintendo for why it didn't work. The one to blame actually is that just the money, because the prototype was so expensive that nobody could produce it. It was like like close to $1 million to produce the prototype.
Yeah.
So they had to dumb it down, and it wasn't working right. But they went to a test meeting, and some lady, one of the executives who knew nothing about video games, she put on the Power Glove, and they put on Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and she knocked out Glass Joe on her first try.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they got it put into production.
Mm.
But yeah, the movie really solidified everybody wanted a Power Glove. I wanted the Power Glove. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
but I wanted it so bad after watching The Wizard with Lucas playing like RC Pro Am and stuff with it and just going, the Power Glove.
Yeah.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Oh man. No,
but yeah, The Wizard was where we first got to see Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even see that movie till like many years after I even had Mario 3. So when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, okay, so this movie must have came out around the time when the game came out or whatever. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know.
Yeah, the movie came out in 89, and the game came out for us in 1990.
Yeah.
So people still had to wait a year after seeing it in The Wizard and getting their licks on it. And there's actually footage still online of some of the news broadcasts from when Mario 2 came out. Mm-hmm. Again, Mario 2 was made only for the United States, the version we got.
Yeah.
So Nintendo did not anticipate how popular it was going to be, and there was a shortage on the game. That's why I obviously don't remember that when it happened. I was too young. Mm-hmm. We got it though. I know that. So we were one of the lucky ones who got it before the shortage. Mm-hmm. But no, there's like footage of them. It's really cool. You just see them like unboxing like tons of copies of this game, and you see like the stores lined up with people to buy the game and everything. Mario 2 was so weird too, though, at the time because of the enemies and everything in it. But then a lot of them would respawn in future Mario titles.
Yeah, yeah.
Wart only respawned apparently in a Zelda game, I guess, for the Game Boy or something. That's the only time Wart ever appeared again. Why is he not in Super Smash Brothers? I want Wart, and I want to be able to have a special ability with one of the guys to be able to throw vegetables at him and kill him.
Right.
Super Mario Bros. 3, though, is my... I'll quickly mention this other thing because we're not going to go back to it, but Super Smash Brothers, I'm not a fan of these games. I don't know how you feel about them.
I've played a couple of times, but and it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
My problem, I don't know if you're the same way, I love like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and games like these, the originals, not the new garbage. But I love the fact that you could actually win. You know, like you take away their energy, they can't get up, you won the match.
Yeah, exactly. Super
Smash Brothers, it just makes no sense to me. You're just constantly hitting each other over and over again until they claim that somebody won.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it. I know I'm probably dumb on this, but I just don't get the point system. I don't get how it works.
Yeah, no.
Give me an old-fashioned game with the energy bars.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. And then it's like, in a lot of the Super Smash Brothers, like it's like, you know, let's say there's like a tower or something like that, and if you knock them off the tower, oh, they got another life, and you know they just show up right there next to you on the tower, and you're just hitting. I'm like, makes no daggone sense. I don't know. It's just give me like you said, give me the power bar, right? Give me the power bar, and and I'm good. You know.
Which gives me an idea. Next week,
Hmm.
I think, and we didn't talk about this. I just came up with this now.
Okay.
I think next week we're going to talk about fighting games and wrestling games,
Yep.
and we'll give our opinions of what we've seen so far of the Cobra Kai game then too, because that's a fighting game. So
Yep.
we'll talk about fighting games and wrestling games next week on this on the show. So if you're really into those kind of games, check out next week. We're going to discuss those a little bit. But yeah, Mario 3 is my favorite Mario game ever made and my favorite video game ever made.
Hmm.
That's going somewhere to say that. But no, I really believe that. I can always go back to Mario 3 and have fun with it. There's so many hidden things in the game. It's ridiculous how much they hid in it. There's so many things I can't even win that I don't even need the win to win the game, but I kind of want to do it just because you can and I can't.
Hmm.
Like earning the anchors.
Yep. Yep.
I never earned an anchor. I never needed one,
Yep.
but it's just the fact that you can earn them is kind of cool.
Yeah, I never.
I have gotten a few times, but never on purpose.
Hmm.
The coin houses. Have you seen those appear?
I've seen those.
It's like a
appear.
ship
Yeah.
with nothing but coins.
Yeah. I've gotten a couple of coin houses.
Yeah, apparently there's like an algorithm to it to actually do it. I'd never done that.
Yeah,
And we talked
I was
about-
able to figure it out. I was able to figure it out at some point. I just don't remember it. It's been a while. It's been a few years since I last played Mario 3. And
Every time I did it, it was always by accident getting it. But
Yeah.
like we talked about in Super Mario 1, the trick with the Koopa Troopa shell to
Yeah.
get on all those extra lives.
Yeah.
There are several different areas in this game to do that.
Yeah.
Because you can keep bouncing on enemies as they respawn,
Yeah.
and eventually you start getting one-ups if you keep bouncing and don't. It's like a game of. They created a video version of the floor's lava.
Yeah, right.
Because if you hit the floor, then you lose that opportunity to get all those extra lives. So it's just so much fun to do these tricks, you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the floor, the show, The Floor is Lava on Netflix, but it's not the same as Mario 3.
I never knew there was a show. I'm going by a game from when we were kids.
Yeah. No, but I was no. I remember. No, I was just saying. I was just mentioning it. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I remember.
Well, I know
playing
Community did an episode of it, which is really fun, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I played the game as a kid. Like me and my cousins and my little brother. And like, okay, the floor is lava, and you're trying to jump on the furniture or whatever, and I remember one time we were at this was in where I grew up in Hartford. We were going to, it used to be the Hartford Mall or the G Fox building, as some people might remember it as. And one time it was me, my little brother, and our cousins, and I say to my cousin who he was hefty. And I said, "The floor is lava," and he jumps on top of like whatever, and he fell. But no. Going back to what you're saying, yeah, that in Mario 3, definitely that was just a video game version of that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, as you were bringing up about all the different suits and all, you know that the P-Wing was not originally, by the way, in the game's listings.
No, I did not know that.
Originally, Shigeru Miyamoto, man, I butchered his name there at that time, but Shigeru Miyamoto, he originally wanted to have Mario turn into a centaur.
What? For real?
I'm not just pulling that out. That's dead serious.
Oh my!
I don't know why they nixed the idea, but instead they went with the P-Wing instead. Just like originally, the P-Wing was originally supposed to be like automatic that you already had the P-Wing if you got the raccoon suit.
Mm-hmm.
But then they changed it that the raccoon suit was just regular and, it had its abilities to lose the flying ability.
Mm-hmm.
And they made limited P-Wings. But no, like the Tanuki suit, which is like the full raccoon,
Mm-hmm.
That has a special ability to it. A lot of people don't know. If you hold the down button, you actually turn into a statue,
Yep,
and
I
for a
remember
couple
that.
seconds, you're invincible.
Yeah, I remember that. And I would use it at the most opportune moments where I knew I couldn't get away from whatever was in front of me, and I'll turn into a statue, and then and whatever it was, whether it's a Goomba or a Koopa Troopa or whatever, and you're good. It would just pass by you for those couple of seconds.
A lot of people, they always try to get to Bowser with the Koopa Trooper suit to beat him with that. And I did it once. I beat him once with it, but
Hmm.
I just don't get it. I get it. I get why people get excited because, in the first game, Bowser throws hammers at you. So now you want that satisfaction of doing it back to him. But
Hmm.
to me, I just don't get it. Um, I got so mad though recently because, like I said, I watch a lot of these videos of people playing these.
Hmm.
I learned a trick I did not know, and
Okay.
it ticks me off. And I have not played since I learned it either to actually do it myself.
Okay.
In the final castle,
Hmm.
Bowser's castle,
Hmm.
there is a part where you jump up these steps, and then you have to jump over all these falling donuts and like just pick a platform. The top one is the most beneficial one, but of course, getting there is hard. No,
Okay.
it's not. Do you know there's a glitch in that castle?
Really?
Do you know this? If you jump, because you know where do you remember the castle well enough or no? Because you said you haven't played in a while.
I remember part bits and pieces, but go ahead, man.
Like when you climb the stairs, there's a candlestick there,
Hmm.
and there's an extra life. If you hit the extra life and get it, stay up there. Apparently, you can jump on top of the extra life block and clip through the wall right there.
Oh wow.
And you're already at the top of the freaking thing, and you don't have to do any of that hard stuff. I watch people do this like it's nothing, and I'm like, how did I not know this? So it's aggravating. Here's another trick that I didn't know.
Hmm.
If you have a P Wing
Hmm.
and you go into that level with the P Wing,
Yeah.
when you get to Bowser,
Yeah.
don't fight him. Don't even go over to him yet. Fly up in the air
Hmm.
above the building on your left
Hmm.
and run all the way to the left. And you know what's over there? The exact same setup that you have on your side where Bowser is. But Bowser's not ever going to appear there. You go down there, and then you go back up and fly back over to where Bowser is.
Hmm.
And now here's the thing. For some reason, Bowser cannot touch you now. This creates some kind of glitch where Bowser cannot touch you.
Wow.
And he'll just jump right through the blocks and kill himself. And you win. I've never tried this, but I watched people do it online, and I went, wow.
That
I
is
didn't know this.
that is crazy.
Like, because I've seen the trick to beat him, which I've done, which is always stay under the cement wall
Yeah.
because he can't get you there except with fire. You got to watch out for the fire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've
Done
seen that trick,
I've
and I've
done
done
that.
that
Yeah,
trick.
I've done that trick. I remember that.
Which it's really funny, by the way. Trying to watch James Rawl freaking do that, and he can't figure out. Yeah, I name dropped him, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, Mario 3. So many things to learn, so many things to do. It's the best game. A lot of people, by the way, didn't know this. I seen one guy learn it on his channel. Somebody told him about it. He didn't know he could do it. In one of the Doom ships in World 8, you can just swim right underneath the whole Doom ship and
I
skip all the stuff.
actually I've done that.
Yeah, I used to do it as a kid. Even I
Yeah.
figured that trick out when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
But
I've done that. I've done that plenty of times, and I actually learned that by accident. I learned that by accident. It was I was trying to avoid something. I fell off the ship, and then I was like, oh no, and then I kept trying to swim out or whatever, and next thing you know, I was going under the ship. I'm like, oh, wait, what?
I know one that I learned by accident is also an 8. I think it's 8. I think it's level 2.
Mhm.
Once you get to the levels in the 8th map,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's level 2. There's one where you can like I accidentally fell in the quicksand, but you can actually ride the quicksand all the way down to the bottom, and then there's 2 tunnels, one on the left, one on the right.
Yeah,
One will give you a whole bunch of extra lives, and the other one will give you a Tanuki suit.
yeah, I've done that one. I've done that one.
Yeah, I found that one by mistake, by
Yeah, it
accident.
was same.
Again, like I said, Miyamoto always tries to like add stuff to be rewarding to the player for discovering things and trying things out. You know.
It's a lot of things, a lot of the tricks and that I learned, it was just by accident. Like I didn't have access to any magazines or whatever, because there was no internet, obviously. I didn't have any, so a lot of things I learned was like just by accident. That's what it was.
Well, I remember when I got older, and
Mhm.
I remember using GameWinners.com all the time, which no longer exists.
Mhm.
But that was my strategy guides all the time, man. They helped me with so many games, especially this one, though,
Mhm.
telling me like where because they actually had like the map layout of like the flipping the cards game that you would get once in a while. It
Yeah.
told you like where everything was hidden in those.
Yep. For me, it's cheatcc.com. Cheat Code Central is cheatcc.com. That's where and it's still around. And sometimes I'll play a game and I just go to the website and just
I
flip
know the
through.
younger generations they all use Game Facts, and that's like their old school one now.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, yeah. Then they moved on to Super Nintendo.
Hmm.
And Miyamoto got to do what he wanted to do with Mario 1. He wanted to have Mario ride a dinosaur, and he
Hmm.
couldn't get it into the NES, so they put it on the SNES, and Yoshi was born.
Yep.
Yoshi in the games versus Yoshi in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not knocking his design completely in the movie because he looked cool. He just didn't look like Yoshi.
Yeah. I mean, he. I
They
mean,
actually were filming at the same time Jurassic Park and on the stage right next to it.
yeah. I was gonna say that.
And oh, you knew that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
But
go
yeah,
ahead.
they came across. They were like going back and forth to each other's sets because they thought, "Hey, this is really cool."
Hmm.
I will say about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I didn't realize any of the stuff that's like hidden gems, so to speak, in the story.
Yeah.
That they don't have fossil fuels. They use electric cars
Yeah.
in the dino hat. And why? Because where does fossil fuels come from? Fossils. There are no fossils because the dinosaurs are still alive.
Hmm.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was funny because to me, the electric cars, they remind me of the bumper cars that you see in amusement parks.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably what they used, the same kind of technology.
Yeah, yeah, because it was like they had the big antenna in the back with the line and all that. It was just crazy.
I like that movie for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, probably me too. I love the movie, but it's probably for the wrong reasons.
But yeah, eventually I want to review that on my channel. It's just that getting clips is going to be tough because it's hard to find that movie apparently these days. I have it on DVD, but I guess it's like not available for people.
I
I don't
remember
know.
I remember I did a couple of like when I'm not doing skits or whatever, I'll take just random clips and I'll make it into a video meme. And I remember I did something with the scene when they're in the elevator and the music is playing and you got Luigi making all the all of them dance and they're like, da, 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 it was so funny. I did something with that, but I couldn't find the actual movie. I mean, if I can find the movie online, I'll just we'll use that. You know what I mean? We'll use that for the clips.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. They like I said, they rip on the movie. Like I know Bob Hoskins before he died, he always said that was the biggest regret he ever had in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And like Dennis Hopper was asked by his kids, "Oh, well, the you could play King Cooper, you should do it." And then they found out how he was playing, and they thought that was stupid. I mean, there's a lot of weird references because like Big Bertha
Mm-hmm.
in the game, it's a fish.
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, it's a big woman. It's like,
Who
why?
has a crush on Mario?
Yeah. It's like there's so many weird references in there.
Yeah.
um, Interesting fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
The boots that they wear, the ones that make them fly,
Yeah.
the exact boots appear in Suburban Commando, worn by
Yeah.
Undertaker and Tony Long as the
Yeah.
and if you don't know they're the same boots, there's even the scene where Hogan sends Undertaker flying through the ceilings by launching his boots.
Yeah, that I did know.
But yeah, it's like so cool. They're wearing those boots from Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah, it's just, I remember, I guess, because I remember when I saw Suburban Commando, I was like, wait a minute, are those the same boots? And it's like, and I remember at the time, we were renting the movies, we were renting it, so we rented Suburban Commando, and then the day after we rented Mario, Mario Brothers, and I was like, yep, those are the same boots.
Well, I think Commando, if I'm not mistaken, came out in '92.
Yeah.
The year before Mario, I think.
Yeah, but still, it was like because I saw Mario, because this was in '94 when I finally made the comparisons. You know what I mean? And
Which is crazy too, because they made Suburban Commando in 1990.
Yeah.
But I don't think it came out to video until '92, 2 years later.
Yeah, it was around '92 when it came out, but yeah, no, like I said, this was around '94, and I remember I already saw Super Mario, I already saw Suburban Commando, and then when we were renting movies, I was like, okay, and then that's when I realized, I was like, holy heck, like, there you go.
Suburban Commando was 1991.
Yep.
I'm looking at the DVD box.
Yep.
It came out in '91. So yeah, that means it did in fact come on video in '92.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Yep.
we're not talking about Suburban Commando.
Yep.
Maybe another time. I will definitely be doing a review. I think I'll do Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny as a 2-part review, maybe. After Mario 3, there was a Game Boy game called Super Mario Land.
Yep.
And that was where Princess Daisy debuted, and this is why she does appear in the Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that. Just thought I'd point that out.
Okay.
The other thing, the last thing I'll mention about the movie is that they interestingly have Mario's girlfriend is Pauline from the Donkey Kong series. When she was Mario's girlfriend that was kidnapped by Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't have Princess. That's why they didn't put Princess Peach in the movie.
Yeah.
Is because of that. But it's just weird that they have Princess Daisy as the daughter of the guy from the Mushroom Kingdom. That's the weird part about it. But
now here's the question, though. Here's the question: if they ever do a remake of the Super Mario Brothers film, right?
they're supposed to be doing a movie with Illumination.
Okay.
Like the Minions.
Okay.
It's gonna be animated.
That ruined it for me.
And I'm sorry, but I like the Minions. I thought they're funny. I actually liked the Minions movie. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
King Bob. But
no,
anyway,
I'm saying the Minions movie was fine. I'm not.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I thought it was
I'm not
funny,
a fan of the Despicable Me's that they came from.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the Grinch was terrible. Did you watch that?
Oh Lord, don't remind me.
I'll take the live action Grinch that Ron Howard made over that Illumination one.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh God, it's so bad. And Ron Howard's is bad too.
Yeah.
But I can somewhat tolerate it.
Yeah.
Although in the theater I fell asleep to that. But I swear there's only been like 2 movies I've ever fallen asleep to in the theater. Both were Christmas movies.
Yeah.
One was The Grinch. The other was Elf. I can't even sit through Elf. I hate that movie. I'm a Christmas guy. I probably love Christmas movies and all more than any other person on the planet.
Yeah.
I've seen every special.
Yeah.
I own almost every special. I sat through the Mary Kate and Ashley Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, the Christmas Caper. I sat through the annoying. I love Power Rangers, but the Power Rangers Christmas is the worst freaking Christmas thing ever. I sat through that. I
Which,
own
hold
Santa
on,
Claus versus the Martians.
hold on. Going back to the Power Rangers, are you talking about the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Yes, Mighty Morphin
Okay,
Power Rangers, the
because
Christmas special.
every iteration of Power Rangers does the Christmas special.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Christmas special, the Power Rangers don't fight anybody. They're only seen on Zordon's screen, and Alpha's just running around trying to get the place decorated on time.
Ay, 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 ay.
And singing Christmas carols.
Yep.
Imagine that voice singing Christmas carols.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Yeah. I remember.
But regardless, there's that. I sat through Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Okay.
The Mexican Santa Claus that lives in outer space next to Merlin the Magician. I have all these movies.
Okay, what about Kiss Save Santa?
Yeah, that's not a real thing. I wish it were, man. I would love to Kiss Save Santa. Hey, Santa, you keep practicing that guitar. My friend Hava does the best impersonation of that whole thing. Somebody kidnapped Santa? That does not rock. Hurry, fellas, the eggs are hatching. It's so good. But
that would have been
there's so many Christmas specials that people never even heard of, and I know them. The worst Christmas movie ever made, though.
Go ahead.
I know this is getting off topic, but do you know what the worst Christmas movie of all time is?
Go ahead, man.
It's called The Christmas That Almost Wasn't.
I've heard of it, never saw it.
It is terrible. The only thing that's even second close would be a tie between Elf and a movie I didn't fall asleep in the theater, but I did leave that theater wanting my money back. Christmas with the Cranks. I heard the book was good, and I planned on watching the movie and reading the book. After watching the movie, I did not want to read the book because the movie is just so bad.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that movie.
I did not need to see 50-year-old Tim Allen as Speedo or a whole protest of freeing Frosty. Oh, it's horrible. Bad stuff. I know I'm getting way off topic. That's going to be another show. We should do that in December. We should discuss like Christmas movies that I'm not going to ever review.
Right.
And the reasons why. But anyway, yeah, Super Mario World. I said we'd get there. We're getting there. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of this game. Mm-hmm. This is out of the four, as I said. Mario 3 is my favorite. Mm-hmm. Mario 2 is second. Mm-hmm. Mario 1 is third. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mario World is my least favorite of the first four Mario games. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I know so many people, they lynch me over this. They think it's the best Mario game ever made. Mm-hmm. The only level I enjoy in Mario World is the final Bowser fight. I love kicking those things and throwing them up in the air, hitting him in his little clown car. And yes, Bowser actually appears in the clown car in the movie too, by the way. Yep. But I hate this game. This game annoys me. I don't know. They just seem like weird. You would think for a higher graphic system, Mario would look better. He's somewhat smaller. Mm-hmm. He's not as defined. The colors are like the tinted versions of themselves. They're not dark colors. Mm-hmm. They don't jump out at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm not a fan of this game.
I didn't play it long enough to really get all the way through. I mean, I don't know. It was something about once I got to a certain level, I lost interest. I didn't really.
That's the other thing is that this game is like super long. Yeah. Just like Mario 3, but Mario 3 keeps your interest. This one doesn't.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and it's always at some level. I'm like, what for?
I know. I don't know. I know. I feel bad because I know everybody loves the game, but I just don't get it. It's not. Even when people play it online, I find myself not watching their videos when they play this one. I don't like it.
but
I mean,
yeah.
the next big one was Mario 64. I like that.
Uh-huh.
But I do recommend, though, if you're going to play Mario 64, you got to play Mario 64 DS.
Yeah.
It's much better. You get to play as Wario, Yoshi, Luigi.
Mhm.
It's so much better.
Now here's the thing. Did you know that on the original NES, okay, there was a it was a special collector's edition type Mario where you had Mario 1, 2, and 3 on the same cartridge. But then there
Hmm.
was yeah, but there was also a it was like a mystery Mario. It didn't even have a name. It was just like it says, in the game itself. And I remember I had this, and it was a one, two, three, and then there was a question mark. And you go into to where the question mark, to play that, and it was all like a dark Mario, it's all dark. It was
Was this a bootleg by any chance?
no, no.
Because I've never heard of this at all.
Yeah, this was like I remember a buddy of mine at the time. He bought all the games when it came out, and I think this was probably this was the like a Japanese copy or something because there was no English. And
Oh, so it was for the Famicom, you mean?
yeah, bro, yeah. So it was something that I had the game for a long time. I had the game for a long time. I actually
Wait,
still
but it worked in your regular?
yeah.
How did a Famicom cartridge work in an NES?
Let's just say my buddy tweaked it. He knew some stuff. I didn't get this game until I was in high school, and he was able
Hmm.
to yeah he was able to he had some knowledge on how to tweak certain things. And
I don't know. You got me there.
yeah, it was
But
crazy.
yeah, they would eventually release
Hmm.
Mario to from Japan in the States on Super Nintendo and Mario All Stars as the Lost Levels. And then when they did this, they released our version in Japan called Super Mario USA.
Hmm.
And that's where I think we're going to move off of Mario. So we've spent enough time on Mario. Let's try and get some other cool NES games in. What I already said Mario 3 is my favorite, but other than Mario games,
Hmm.
what would you say is your favorite NES game?
Hmm. I got you know what just because just for nostalgia, I gotta go with the Karate Kid games. That and
They only had one, I thought.
yeah, no, there was the karate, the Karate Kid game, and I'm sorry I said the S because of my meds. I'm
Okay,
slurring.
you had me confused. I was like, wait, is there a game I don't know about?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's because of my meds. Now I'm starting to slur a little bit. No, but
I want to get the NES Karate Kid game. I don't own it.
I had that game, and that was by some miracle where um where we were living at our neighbor and we were living in an apartment complex, and one of the tenants, they were moving out, and their son had a bunch of stuff, and it was that game, what was it, Mike Tyson's Knockout, and
You just took my answer. I was going to tell you my favorite game other than
okay.
Mario for NES, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Punch Out. Oh my gosh, man, that was a good game. I loved it.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out is just so freaking amazing
Yeah.
in every sense of the way. Uh, you need strategy to beat each guy.
Mhm.
I can rush the game and speed run all the way until I get to the world circuit.
Mhm.
That's where I can no longer speed run. Once I get the Dawn Flamenco the second time, because it's unpredictable on that second time, so I can't speed run anymore. But I know all the tricks to get to that
Yeah.
point on a speed run,
And the cool thing about
and
it
then the
is,
whole game starts to mess with you.
yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the cool thing is just the fact that you can add these codes and whatever, and you can go all the way to Mike Tyson.
I never beat Tyson.
Me neither.
I can't. I've seen people do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I can't.
Even following the tricks I know how to do it, and I can't do it.
Yeah, I to this day, anytime I played it, I can't. I can't.
I have so much trouble even getting to him because Super Macho Man I've only beaten once,
Hmm.
and it's just super hard. uh, Mr. Sandman, I beat him more than once, but he's difficult. He was the main final boss in the arcade version,
Hmm. I'm like,
but
it's like a buddy of mine at the time. He knew the code and he knew how to insert it. You know how to like put it in and to just go from instead of going through all the through all the different fighters, it just goes directly to Tyson. And
that's
when
how I get to Tyson all the
yeah
time now
yeah
to
yeah
try and beat him.
yeah right. And when he taught me that, and then he beat Tyson, I'm like, how the heck you do that? And he was showing me, and I wrote everything down, and for months I'm trying to beat Tyson. I can't. I can't. And the same thing with
Yeah, I can't do it, man. It's very tough.
now if I go throughout to fight the different fighters, I basically as Super Macho Man, that's where I I I stop because I can't beat him.
You can't beat Super Macho Man.
No,
Yeah, I have trouble with it. Like I said, I beat him once ever. That was it.
I have never been able to go to pass him. I can't. I don't, it's like, even now it's like if I ever try it, there's a couple of different emulators that like Nintendo emulators online that you could play it. I Nah, I can't. I still can't. It's weird.
Another great game for the NES.
Yep.
I would love to own this game. I don't. I do own Punch Out,
Okay.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out,
Hmm.
but I don't own Ducktales.
I played it once. That's it.
I did not know there's a second one. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Ducktales 2 too." I'm like, "Really?"
I didn't even know
I
there.
love Ducktales, so
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was a two. I play.
Ducktales is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's I really want to own this game. I watch people play it all the time online. It just makes me want to play it again. I miss this game.
Yeah.
Used to play it all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah. I had it. I had it. Not that I had it. Is that I borrowed it from a buddy of mine and
I
for like
beat
a
it
week.
several times.
Yeah. It's a good game. I like. It's fun. It's definitely fun.
Mega Man.
It was cool. It was cool. I'm not gonna say that's my favorite, but it was a cool game.
Everybody says Mega Man 2. Believe it or not, I am a Mega Man 1 guy, and I don't really care to play any of the other ones.
I will agree with
I've
you
never
on that.
beaten it.
I will.
Never beaten it, and oh my god, I watched a video of somebody beating it.
Mhm.
It's the first time I ever saw anybody beat it.
Mhm.
Holy crap, that game gets hard. Like, they make you refight all of the same bosses, not once, but twice in the final level.
Yep, definitely.
Like, oh my god, it's hard.
Yeah. No, I haven't been able to beat it, but I'm in the same boat. I think Mega Man. That's that's it. I did play Mega Man 2, and
I played them all because I have the Essential Collection for GameCube that they put out.
Yep. I don't know.
I'll tell you another tough one, though,
Yeah.
that I still cannot even come close to beating is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wait, I did that. Excuse me. I had that and I beat it.
I cannot. I can't get past the level where you're in the party van driving around.
That was like for me. That was the hardest level to get past. It took me about 3.
Nah, the hardest level to get past, and everybody else will agree, and I think you will too. You should probably just forgot the water level.
That wasn't that bad for me, believe it or not.
Oh my god, all the seaweed everywhere that's electrified. This thing's like the Thunderdome cage from Halloween Havoc 90 or 89.
No, that for some reason that wasn't that hard for me. It wasn't that bad for me. For me it was the party van, and
Oh, I hate that whole level, man. But yeah, that game is so hard, but it's super cool. I love it. I know everybody hates it because it's not a lot like the show and stuff,
yeah.
but I like it. I think it's really cool.
I say
Also
go ahead.
go on.
No,
Go on.
I was gonna say that if you're gonna as far as any of if you're gonna play any of the turtles, do not play Raph because the size are too
Well,
small.
Donnie is like the king of that game because
Yeah,
his bow reaches further.
yeah, you know, it's gonna
I
go.
saw a video that College Humor did,
Uh,
and I thought they were way off. They're like completely bad mouthing Donatello, saying he's like a worthless turtle. I'm like,
yeah, they gave him a stick and a diaper for a mask.
yeah, you've seen this crap.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's horrible. Who taught them about turtles?
I don't know. I don't know.
Donnie's one of the most important ones.
Yeah. No, and I tell you, it's like if in the game, it goes from Donnie to Leo to Mikey, and then I don't even want to bother with Raph because, like I said, there's no reach. There's no reach. It's just
Well, see, Mikey's always my guy, and that's why I don't like the game because they made Mikey like kind of weak in the game. But
no, I agree there. I agree with you.
yeah, Ninja Turtles 2 gets a lot of flack because it's not as good as the arcade version. But I like it.
Yeah.
I recently, like last year, I finally got a copy of it that I actually own now of that game.
Nice.
And now I just got the tiny arcade of the arcade machine. And this thing is the size of your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny.
Well, you're gonna have to review it at some point.
It's just cool to have, especially for nostalgia reasons. But
now, does it work though?
it plays 4 levels, but man, it's not easy to play on this little thing.
Is it you gotta grab like some tweezers or something, huh?
No, not that bad, but it's just I don't know. It's not fun.
No,
I'll talk more about it. I'm gonna review it eventually on the new show coming. The
right.
Timeout at the Arcade. I am gonna review it, but
I'll see it. Obviously.
I'm gonna review that and the pinball machine at the same time. The Ninja Turtle pinball,
I had the pinball.
which was also put out by Tiny Arcade.
I had the pinball at one point, then I gave it away.
Well, the cool thing about it, the pinball, is that it does have the art,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's just weird. I'll review them, like I said, but yeah, the Ninja Turtles 3, I only played a couple times. The Manhattan Project. I thought it was a pretty decent game,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing special. The best Ninja Turtles game would be Ninja Turtles 4,
Mm-hmm.
Turtles in Time.
I never played it.
Wow, it is super hard, but it's so much fun, especially with 2-player mode.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of super hard, and a lot of people mistakenly think that it's just the Genesis version of Turtles in Time, but no, it's actually an in-depth game. There are some similarities, but it's its own thing with its own story and its own characters. Hyperstone Heist for Sega Genesis. I rented this game before. I thought it was great. I want to get this game. I can't. Why? Because the only people who have it, they're charging way too much money for it.
Wow.
But this game was amazing for one simple reason, especially. It is the only video game from Ninja Turtles to come out featuring my favorite character from the movies, Tatsu.
Nice.
When he walked in that game when I'm playing it, and Tatsu just walks in and gives the Ninja Vanish, I was like, oh my god, I need this game, and I still don't have this game.
Oh, man.
I've seen videos of it online playing side by side with Turtles in Time that show some of the similarities.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still say Turtles in Time is better, which I'd probably agree because Turtles in Time is just so good.
Yep. See now I want it. See now I want the game.
The only other Turtles game that is even worth playing, in my opinion, everybody likes Tournament Fighters. I hated Tournament Fighters, by the way. But, and Asuka, by the way, in Tournament Fighters was actually supposed to be Mitsu from Turtles 3. But because of the movie failing, they didn't want to remind anybody of that horrible movie. But, no, they put out a game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Battle Nexus for GameCube and for PlayStation and for Xbox. PlayStation 2, excuse me. This game is amazing. It's I don't like the animation so much because it's like newer Turtle style.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the gameplay goes, it plays just like the old games.
Nice.
It's so fun. It's a fun beat 'em up game.
Nice.
I thought they really nailed it and hit it out of the park.
And you said this was
There's
for the
apparently
PlayStation
an
2?
Easter egg you can win to actually play the Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game on this, but
Mm-hmm.
I've never been able to win it.
Now you said this was for the PlayStation 2?
PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. I have the PlayStation 2 version.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look for the PlayStation 2 version.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you enjoy those older games
Mm-hmm.
from the Turtles, like a beat 'em up style,
Yep.
this one is right up there. It's just, yeah, the animation's not as cool because it's newer Turtles. But yeah, it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Battle Nexus,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun.
Nice, nice. I'm not. See, now I gotta look for it. I gotta see who's still in it.
And I know we said we're talking about fighting games next week, and now we've already mentioned Karate Kid and Mike Tyson's Punch Out Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it up again.
Well, we don't even have to because we're gonna have plenty of games to discuss next week. So
definitely.
get them out of the way.
All right, man.
Other NES games. Let's see that were really really fun. Right off the bat, I gotta say Kung Fu. Again, another fighting game, but Kung Fu is so much fun. Kung Fu actually was released in Japan under a different title, and there was actually a sequel made for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the sequel never made it here to the States. That's sad. But the sequel really had nothing to do with the original. If you actually like see the game, it doesn't look like the original at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting another text message. You guys are talking about games now. Are you going to bring up Road Rash? Well, we can bring up Road Rash.
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Thank you very much. I'm sitting there trying to think of games. Well, I'm thinking NES. Road Rash was an NES, but Road Rash I think was on Super Nintendo as well. But I know the Genesis version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was another version.
Let me look.
Road Rash was so much fun though.
No, I didn't.
What was the cop's name in that? I can't think of his name.
Actually, I could just look that up. Hold on.
He looked like Biff from Back to the Future. I remember that.
All right.
But it was so cool because, like, if you went up to the cop and hit him, you could steal his nightstick and then use it as a weapon against the other racers.
Right.
And
well, we got a bunch of them: Axel, Cindy, Bose, Milwaukee John, Teflon Mike, Rondo Rash, Slim Jim. I don't know which one you're looking for.
I don't remember the cop, whatever his name was.
Yeah, hold on. I'd have to go right into the see if they got a picture, pictures with the.
But no, Road Rash, the thing was too, you had to avoid cars and cows and stuff, and you would go flying off your bike, and then you'd get up without a scratch on you and just run back and find your bike, and it wasn't even damaged. It was so unrealistic in that sense, but.
Well, what's crazy is that I only played that game a couple times, and then when the Twisted Metal series, when I started playing that, that reminded me of Road Rash a lot. So I thought that was kind of different storyline, but it was just
I never played the Twisted Metal series.
Really?
I do know a game I love, and I think the reason I love it is because I never played the Twisted Metal series. Is WWE Crush Hour.
Wow.
I love Crush Hour, but everybody's like, dude, it's just Twisted Metal, but not as good. Maybe because I never played it, that's why I like it. I don't know, but I love that game.
I thought it was a decent game. I mean, I was a big fan of not even the original Twisted Metal when it comes down to
Just had texted me, by the way, Officer O'Leary.
Okay, there you go.
That's his name.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying?
Oh yeah, no. So I was saying is like the first Twisted Metal that came out with the original PlayStation. I thought it was cool. I thought it was definitely cool. Excuse me. Of course, graphics wasn't as great, but then as you progress to the other Twisted Metals. You know, the graphics gotten better, and I mean the storylines, the story, you know, in itself of each every character, it just gotten better. You know, with whoever, you know, whoever won, what did they get, and so on and so forth. You know, and it's like I thought it was kind of cool because there was a character called Mr. Grimm, and he was like the Grim Reaper, and it was always something where like he wanted to he wanted to take Calypso, you know, and kill him every time.
This is all Twisted Metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Just got another text. Dude, I've been listening to the show. Not saying that because that's politics. This is great stuff, and you guys are killing it.
Awesome.
By our buddy John Demento.
Awesome.
On that one.
Awesome.
That's his mention. But
yeah, so I mean.
Yeah, no, the WWE Crush Hour, is it the same thing?
I think it was kind of like a knockoff, like they're like their knockoff of Twisted Metal. You know what I mean?
Well, I know that they have like the twisty rockets. So I'll tell you, man, just hearing Jim Ross call the action of that game is so much fun.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam had just grabbed the twisty rockets. and what was awesome was because as you were driving, like they had the Titantron set up.
Mm-hmm.
So like the guys would appear on the screen and like taunt you.
Yeah.
Like Rob Van Dam would kill you and then would show up on the screen going, I'm cool like that.
Yeah.
Ric Flair would kill somebody and show up on the screen and just go, woo!
Yeah, definitely.
The only ones that wouldn't appear is like Hogan would never appear on the screen. He didn't have a cutscene. A few of them did have cutscenes. They're still in the game, but they didn't have cutscenes on the screen. But it's just so cool. Like Booker T would be like, it's like that sometimes. And tell me you didn't just do that.
Right.
It was so much fun. And there was like a Royal Rumble mode where you would try to get the crown away from one another.
Yep.
It was basically also used in another game, which I'm going to bring up in a minute. But you tried to hang on to the crown as long as you could. And if you could hang on to it long enough, then you won the match.
Yep.
You know?
I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this: if the you remember how when we were talking about Halloween Havoc with the Giant versus Hogan in that monster truck sumo match, whatever.
Yep.
If that would have been like if that match would have been like Crush Hour the way it is, I think it would have it would have been way better.
Yeah, I don't think they could have killed each other though.
Well, come on, that was Turner money. Turner could have like done some kind of.
I don't think they were gonna shoot twisty rockets at each other.
No, but they could have done something. They could have done something where it would have looked way better than what it did. That was Turner money. Come on now. Turner could have.
But no, I was gonna say that mode, that Royal Rumble mode,
yep,
was also in South Park Rally. And a lot of people don't like South Park Rally. The PC version was where it was at. I had the N64 version. I think I still have the N64 version, but it's not as good as the PC version. The PC version is the faster running one. But there's a level in that called Cow Days where everybody gets mad cow's disease. And you have to go and fight to get the antidote. And as you have the antidote like in your possession, it starts healing you and your percentage starts going down of how much of the disease you have. And every time you get hit, though, you lose the antidote and somebody else gets it. So your goal is just like in that level of Crush Hour where you're trying to get the crown. Well, here you're trying to get the vial of the antidote and hang on to it as long as you can so that you can heal yourself and win the race.
See, here's the thing. I never played it. I never played it because, around the time that it came out, I wasn't a fan of South Park or anything, And
it's the only game, I think, in the entire existence that you can give other racers herpes. Like, you throw Frida at them and, like, she hits you, and then your whole screen gets covered up by herpes so you can't see.
God.
Your visibility's gone for a brief. It's not full time, but temporarily your vision is gone.
Oh my gosh.
There's all kinds of things that you could throw at people though to get your vision gone. Like there's like puke. You can puke on the others, and then their vision's messed up and stuff. It's so crazy.
It is the style of South Park. So
Oh, it's total South Park. Like they have the alien ray to shoot them, and and then they start singing and dancing, and they can't play for a bit.
Crazy.
And you could give them pink eye, which makes them all like drive backwards and everything. But there's all these little challenges. Like on Easter, you have to collect X amount of eggs and everything before the other racers get that many.
Okay.
And there's just so many cool things, that you do. And then you can do different things to unlock other characters and everything. Like there's an underpants gnome one where you have to keep on bring the most underpants to the checkpoints to get washed before other people do. It's just a fun game. I really enjoy it. It's my favorite South Park game because they made South Park for PlayStation, which was absolutely atrocious. And then they did South Park for N64, which was better, but I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. And then they did South Park Chef's Love Shack, which was a trivia game, and that was atrocious. And then Rally came out, and it was like, wow, a breath of fresh air on a South Park game. Somebody said like the newer one that came out, I forgot what it was called, but that was supposed to be good, but I didn't play it, so I can't judge it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a game that gets a lot of crap from people, and I actually really like it. And there's two different versions, a Super Nintendo and a Sega, and people mistakenly think it's the exact same game. Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, okay.
This game gets hated on by everybody. Xavier Woods and Paige played the Genesis version and badmouthed it. Yeah. Now, the Super Nintendo version is bad, and I'll get to that one in a minute. The Sega version, not bad. It's just that, and now I get this. If you don't know what to do, this game is impossible for you, and you're not going to like it. And I think that's what happens. Too many people don't know what they're doing. They don't even want to try and figure it out, and they just go, oh, this game is so stupid. And that's not the case. It's just that you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, the concept of both games is that you want to go to the Guar concert. In the Genesis version, you buy tickets, and then you lose your tickets. They get stolen by Anderson's dog, and then they go flying, and they get chopped up by Anderson's lawnmower, and there's pieces all over town. And you have to go around town to find the pieces.
Okay.
And put them together to go to the Guar concert. And then there's a hidden Easter egg where you can make yourself sick, go into like the hospital hidden area and steal some scissors, and you get all these pieces. You can go to the Guar concert, and then you sneak backstage and you actually end up on stage with Guar. So there's two different endings to the game. Now, that makes sense. The Super Nintendo version makes no sense. They don't buy Guar tickets. They decide they're going to do a bunch of stupid stunts and take pictures of themselves doing them, and Guar's going to think they're so cool that they're going to let them into the concert.
Yeah.
And the tasks are even worse. So it's just like, because the levels are pretty much the same. Like there's the mall, there's the school. That's why I think people mix it up thinking they're the same game. But no, they're two totally different games. The Super one is horrible. The Sega one is great. But again, if you don't know what you're doing in the Sega one, it can be tricky. I remember at Burger World, to get back in the back area, employees only, you have to enter a code. And a lot of people wouldn't know the code. It's in the cheat strategy guide, but if you didn't have that, how would you know? I had a friend tell me it's Butthead. But I would think after a while you might figure that out, but I never figured that out either, But yeah, like you do that, and then like you feed a guy some freaking French fries with a rat in it, and he throws up your ticket. Like you go to the drive-in movie, and there's like a van that's rocking. And you take a photograph, and then this big fat lady comes out and starts chasing it. And like you had before that though, you had to know that you had to throw a cherry bomb on the Slurpee machine to break it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things you have to know that you have to do. You know what I mean? Because yeah, then she slips on the Slurpee, she falls, and a ticket falls out of her pocket. So
Oh well, okay. I'll say I'll
well,
say
ticket piece.
I'll say I would go with the Genesis version definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Again, you have to know what you're doing. And the other thing I say with the Genesis version, you need two things with it, and this is what makes it annoying. One,
Mhm.
do not play the two-player mode.
Okay.
Only play one player
Okay.
because you're gonna need both guys' energy bars
Yeah.
because you can switch characters when you're playing one player. But if you're playing two player, you're both gonna just die. It's impossible to play this game on two players.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it sucks.
I wonder if
And
anyone's
the other
actually
thing
done it
is,
for two players
it's
mode.
so much easier if you have a turbo controller for the Genesis
Okay.
because when you have to do couch fishing,
Yeah.
it kills your hand if you don't have a turbo button.
Yeah.
So those are my two things with that game.
Yep.
But the best Beavis and Butthead game is also for PC. It's called Beavis and Butthead Do You. It's in my top 5 favorite games of all time for any game.
Hmm.
It's so much freaking fun. You go on this trip with the high school to a college
Yep.
to check it out, and you find out there's like a college university party, and so you're trying to get there, and like they give you a scavenger hunt that you have to go on
Yep.
to complete all these tasks to earn your way to the party.
Yep.
And then, spoiler alert, you end up going and there's like a whole paintball mode where you go up against another university and you're promised that you're going to be able to score if you do it. And then Beavis and Butthead's being led to these two rooms that are right next to each other. And they're told, leave the lights on, and there's a girl in the bed. And then we just hear noises. We don't see it, but you can figure out the two doors lead to the same room and they're in the same bed. And then they both realize that their women have something down below, and they go running out screaming, and you realize they were just in bed with each other. So that's the payoff to this game.
Oh man.
But there's so many interactions you can do that's so much fun. Like you like annoy Van Driesen and everything. You do all these cool things all through the game. And it's just so much fun. I love that. I'd play that game nonstop if I could. I don't have the capabilities anymore, but I have the game for PC, and it's just so much fun.
See now you got me interested in so many different games to find and get.
I brought that game to school before, and all these kids were all hooked on it. It was like so much fun.
Right.
Another one for PC that I used to love was Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yep.
Roller Coaster Tycoon was amazing too.
Yeah, I
Build
played
your
that.
own amusement parks.
Yeah, no, I played that. I played that a few times. I thought that was a really good game.
And I'll tell you what's the most fun of all is playing Grand Theft Auto on a network on the computer.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would network all these computers together, and we would each be playing because it becomes a battle royale of just trying to kill each other.
Yep. Yep.
And it was so much fun. We did this too with one of the Duke Nukem games, and it was so much fun too.
Yep. You good?
Fun times in the past with video games.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now. Like currently, what I'm doing, I'm playing a game on Roblox. It's called Lumion Legacy. Okay. Now, for those that don't know, I'm a big Pokemon fan. I'm a big Pokemon fan from when it first came out. Now, and I'm talking about the show and the games, all that. On Roblox, there was a production studio called Llama Train Studio. They created a Pokemon game for Roblox. Now, a couple years ago, because of a toy company that and the Pokemon company, they're basically suing anybody that's making games, with Pokemon without their permission. So they had to shut down the game. So then he created another one called Lumion Legacy, which again, this is just a Pokemon type game, and they're still adding. I mean, they're continuously adding new things every like 2 or 3 months, and I mean, unless you're a Pokemon fanatic like I am, you're not gonna get it. But it's really cool because they add all these different like these different things, like these different Easter eggs from the first game that they designed. Like, they bring in different characters from the first game that they designed. They, I mean, some of the newest, you know, like for the Halloween event. I mean, everything is just is really cool. And the only thing that I hate about it is that some things like an Ace disc, which is supposed to be like the Master Ball in Pokemon, and Pokemon, it's like they'll you gotta pay for it with actual money. But I get it because they gotta make some cash here and there. But still, though, it's actually one of the if you're into if you're into Pokemon games, hey, you know, go for it right on Roblox. But I don't know, man. It's like I'm playing so many different games on Roblox, which is really cool.
See, I
And
liked Pokemon Blue, Red, Yellow, and I liked Pokemon Snap for N64.
yeah, Snap was decent, man. Snap was really decent.
Snap was cool because it had a camera. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. It was really cool. And but it's like a lot of I don't know what it is that for me personally, when it comes to video games, it's I have to be able to get into it right away. I have to either or I have to get into it right away. Or if it's something where or if, or it has to be something where I can get into it right away. Or if it's telling, like, especially like the RPG type games, you know some people, they can, like, do cheat codes and whatever and go play. It's like a long movie. Okay, like Lord of the Rings movies, right? That if you don't see it from the beginning, you're not gonna get it in the middle or the end or whatever. Same thing with certain games. It's like I have to be able to, like, if it's gonna tell a good story, I have to be able to, like, get into it
Well,
from
that's
the
what I tell
beginning.
people with the Ace Attorney games because I love those games.
Yeah, yeah,
They're all story.
yeah,
If
exactly.
like if it's all reading, but they're fun, and if you do them in order, they're even more fun. The other thing though that people I think don't like is because there's like a supernatural thing to it.
Yep,
And they go, "This ain't really realistic." It's not supposed to be.
exactly.
It's a fun story.
And what it is that it really gets your imagination going.
Well, because like it follows a lot of like spirit mediums and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
So like,
still,
but again, in its own universe, it works, and they
exactly,
explain it as you go through the universe, even.
exactly,
And there's
exactly,
fun interactions with it, and
exactly.
yeah, there. I loved all of the ones that they put on the DS. I couldn't play the other ones, but like the first three with Phoenix Wright, and then
Yeah,
they did the Apollo Justice, and then they went and did a Miles Edgeworth game on his own spinoff, and they're all good.
yeah,
And the Edgeworth spinoff was so cool because there's like one level where when you're walking through, if you pay attention in the background as an Easter egg, you can see Phoenix Wright
yeah,
with his character sitting in a boat out in
yeah,
the water.
yeah. I mean, it's
It's
just
not anything you interact with, it's something for you to see as a sight thing. But
yeah,
it's like, hey,
exactly.
look, there you go.
It's like, oh, cool, wow,
So I
wow.
love that.
Yeah, but it's just again,
I gotta replay those. I miss those games. I used to play them all the time, and
yeah,
because
but
everybody goes, "Oh, they don't have replayability." You must not like rewatching a movie either, then, if you feel that way.
exactly,
Because I
exactly.
mean, yeah, you know the story, but hey, it's fun to revisit it.
Exactly, exactly. That's the thing. Certain games is like, you just, certain games, it's like you get excited about re replaying. Yeah, okay, you're reading the same story all over again. Whoopsie, yeah, but that's the fun part.
Yeah,
You
and
get lost
there's
in it.
like different things you can do with it too. Like in the first one, there's like a part where like this guy is like got something going on. He's being blackmailed, but like you get to choose what you're saying to him,
Yeah,
and like you can choose your lovers.
yeah,
And all of a sudden you're like, I'm not sure it's something I can understand, but it appears you're his lover. And he goes, what? He
yeah,
goes, I don't know what you're thinking, boy. You're mistaken in
yeah.
your twisted mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you get lost in the world. You get lost in the world, and once you're finished, it's like again, like at the end of a really good movie, and it's like, I got to do this again.
Exactly. Like the Grand Theft Auto series I brought up. To me, the best one they made
Mhm.
is Vice City. I'll revisit that over and over again.
I got for me when it comes to Grand Theft Auto, I gotta go with Vice City and San Andreas in the same spot.
San Andreas is too hard. I cannot beat that game.
I was I it took me about three no it took me 4 months and I was finally able to beat it.
I'm stuck in the level where you're the flying the model planes,
Oh, okay, I got you.
and it took me forever to get there. Even it's so hard of a game.
Yeah, no, that one that was really hard for me too. But if you
But
keep going on if you keep going on with the story with the other stuff, you can beat it, and then you can go back to that to the model planes.
yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna wrap this up soon. Did anybody have any questions that we missed out on? Maybe.
Nope, nothing on the chat, nothing in the email, and so far nothing in the Discord either.
Okay, well, I want to quickly mention though this Tuesday I am very excited
Mhm.
because Bill and Ted Face the Music is coming to
Yes,
DVD.
yes.
I wanted to see this movie when it came out, but unfortunately, movie theaters still not happening yet.
Yep.
Couldn't go see it, but it was available for on-demand rental. But when I saw the price, I said, "Well, if I'm gonna pay $20 to rent it for a one-time viewing,
Hmm.
I may as well wait and pay $20 and buy the DVD."
Exactly.
So I
I'm same boat.
waited. It's not that I'm not a loyal fan or anything, but I mean, times are tough, and I got to be tough on my money as well. If it was a
Exactly.
$5 rental, I would have rented it and bought the DVD. They
Mm.
lost some money from me personally, but they're still going to gain my money for the DVD this Tuesday, and
Hmm.
I'm very excited to see it. I've heard it's good. I'm also worried to see it because just because people say something's good, I know firsthand as a critic
Hmm.
that doesn't mean it's good. But and it doesn't mean I'll like it because this is something I say all the time about movies is that somebody liked it to make it.
Hmm.
So there's always going to be somebody who likes a movie. There's always going to be somebody who hates a movie.
Oh yeah.
That's just how it is. It
I
doesn't
go.
mean that there's no such thing as a good or a bad movie, people.
Yeah.
Just what you enjoy.
Yeah, no, I go by the same notion when I do the skits. You know, it's like if someone's gonna like it, someone's gonna hate it. You know,
Yeah,
so when
all
I
the time. There's
yes,
always haters.
yeah, so
But
so when it comes to this movie, yeah, a lot of people like it from what I've heard, and some people don't like it. Oh well, I'm still gonna watch it as a fan. I'm still gonna watch it.
yes, I am looking forward to it. And if I do see it before next week, I may even mention it next week what I thought, but I don't know if I'm going to watch it that soon.
Hmm.
But next week, we do know, as we talked about earlier, we came up with we are going to continue the video game discussion. We're going to move into fighting games and wrestling games. This one is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, in 2 weeks on the show is our Survivor Series discussion. So, the next 2 weeks of our show are going to be good.
Yep.
And of course, there will be the reveal of which episodes of At the Movies will be coming the weeks after. So, until then, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope, I'm good, brother.
All right. Well, then we thank you all for joining us here on the podcast, and we hope that you pay attention to Josue Skits if he posts anything this week. Keep your eyes peeled on my Big Time Jimmy Larson channel to see if and when the timeout at the arcade show starts. Keep your eyes peeled at the movies as well. You can watch the previous episodes you've missed in the archives, and a new episode each week. Next week, as I said, will be Blank Man. And next week on the podcast, What's Going Down, we will talk to you, like I said, about more video games, fighting games, wrestling games, etc. Send in your questions to whatsgoingdowntoday@gmail.com. And